What's up, everybody? This is Budget Wargamer, and we've got today the Custodian Wardens, one of the new releases from the Adeptus Custodes, chilling out with Mo the cat right here, who wants to crash in on our party. So we're going to go ahead and film along with him. So let's go ahead and zoom in as we've got fun cat things happening here on the table, and we're going to try to build out some of these Custodian Wardens. So using the new mic, let me know what you guys think about the quality of the audio on this one. Jumping out on a limb. So we're gonna open up our pack of bases. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, and we've got 5 of these 40 mil bases to put these guys onto. Now each one of these dudes is gonna come out to be about the size of your typical Space Marine Terminator if you haven't seen Custoian Guard. As far as other tools that you're gonna wanna get handy, you're gonna wanna have your Citadel plastic glue and your Citadel side cutters to chop these dudes out of the sprue. So here we go. Let's take a look at the rules first. I haven't played with these guys yet, considering I just bought them. So there we are. Nice. That's what they're going to look like, minus a couple levels of detail when I'm done with them. Not on this video, but just in general. So it opens up with the assembly guide, which has been typical, but I like that they've been giving me full rules lately. So if you haven't checked out the rules yet for Custodian Wardens, there's only going to be a couple choices in here. I think it's Custodian Warden, Shield Captain, and maybe Vexillus Praetor. But there you go. They've got 6-inch move, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, strength 5, toughness 5, which is normal for the Custodian Guards. 3 wounds, which is also normal, but 4 attacks. They come in at 1 more attack. They have leadership 9, a 2+ save, and they have the option of taking the Castellan Axe, which I highly recommend because I personally think it's a lot better than the optional Guardian Spear, given that you get a +3 strength instead of a +1 strength. So you're going to wound almost everything in the game on a 2+, at least for normal infantry, and then you have a chance at cracking larger vehicles and other infantry. They also can take a Misericordia, may as well. It's only like 4 points for playing the points option. And then since these guys have the Blinding Oath, you're going to be able to ignore wounds on a 6, so it's like a 6+ feel no pain. And their existing rule of Aegis of the Emperor means that they already have a 5+ invulnerable save, and if using them in a battle forged list or detachment, they're going to have a 4+ invulnerable save anyways. So these guys are boss right now. 2+ armor save, 4+ invulnerable save, and a 6+ feel no pain essentially. So awesome models. Their Shield Captain also, if you want to do that, just keep in mind he's basically a standard Shield Captain. He doesn't get the Feel No Pain option that comes with the regular Custodian Wardens. They just give you the opportunity to build essentially a left-handed version of the Shield Captain if you are into lefties. Similar thing goes with the Vexillus Praetor. He's essentially the same thing as a Vexillus Praetor that would be statted out from the normal Custodian Guard, so I don't think there's anything different there. The only other way you're going to get a better Vexillus Praetor than this is to get the Alaris Terminators, which we've already unboxed and opened and started putting together. So check out our other video on those if you guys are looking for models with even bigger stat lines. Those Alaris Terminators stat in at being roughly as strong as a Space Marine Company commander. So, I'm going to need that assembly book here because it's not like I'm going to be able to build these dudes blind. All right. Custodian Warden A. Let's get my mouse out of the action there. And it says to take part number 2, part number 3. So let's find out what sprue we're on here. These numbers seem high. There we go. Wait. All right, I found part number 3. Going in. I need to get better at learning to hold these models where you guys can see them. So let me try on that. All right, part number 2, here we go. And let's rip it out of there. These side cutters are good for coming in and cleaning up a little bit after the fact too. You want to make sure you kind of trim off any excess that doesn't get them to be flush. And you can even take them, pro tip, and carefully scrape away to remove mold lines too, so they've got a lot of utility. Okay, so unlike a lot of the other kits, especially the Adeptus Custodes kits, these guys have a flat-topped torso, or a flat-topped waist. So that's different. You got to know that though. And let's find out what part goes in there. So there's a little tab on the back that's on the back of his tailbone that's going to align with a tab here. There we go. I was just seeing where we needed to put some glue. So let's go ahead and open up our trusty Citadel plastic glue, clear off any muck that's already on there. This particular bottle's been giving me some struggles. Mainly that the syringe part, whatever you want to call it, keeps retreating into the bottle itself, and I've never had that happen. That's what she said. Alright. So we've got that part glued on. Now we need to get his chest piece, because it calls for part number 1 next. What do you guys think about the model kits as of lately? You know, as opposed to like the good old days of just taking apart all your legs, all your torsos from your multi-pose kits. Do you guys prefer these single pose kits with their apparent lack of flexibility, or do you guys prefer the old way of just being able to make your own kits? Well, I tell you what, I prefer this way. Despite the fact that we used to think we had the freedom of making dynamic poses, we ended up making just a bunch of Space Marines pointing their guns out to one side, and it was a heck of a lot harder to put those guys together. I have made the mistake of ordering some of these newer kits on the internet from people who've clipped them from the sprues and then don't include instructions on how to assemble them, and that is essentially a nightmare. I'm going to wipe off some excess there. I wanted to get it into the groove as a gap fill. Now I've got plastic glue on my fingers, so beware. Let's hold that together until it starts to mush. Got to be careful that I got plastic glue on the surface there, because what it starts to do is soften the plastic. It actually melts it, and it fuses both sides together. So try not to get it anywhere like I just did, where I actually got it on the surface, because it's going to soften and distort that robe there now. And no telling what's going to happen to it, just depending on how much I got on there. But what I was trying to do is put a little in so I could fill this robe. I didn't test fit properly, and I needed to make sure that this robe didn't have some gnarly gap in it once I was done with it. And it still might, so just beware of these two-piece robes. Lay down a little glue in the seam before you assemble them together. Don't make that rookie mistake like we just did right there. I'll blame you guys partially for it. Now let's put some glue on the feet, even though the rules or the assembly instructions don't call for it. It's like the Lego movie. We'll just be a master builder. Put him just like that. All right, now we need to get let's see here, whatever hip pieces we need in particular. These guys all got the same ones? No, they're different. Alright, so we won't use the shield captain ones, but we'll take these. And these are going to get glued onto the sides. These seem like they're okay pieces in and of themselves, but I'm not super ecstatic about these. I feel like these are going to fall off at a later date. I don't know. What do you guys think of these little hip pads that I'm gluing on right now? Not to mention they're a little bit of a pain in the butt to get glued on in the first place. Let's go ahead and help it find its happy place. So there. All that work, whatever. These are still some BA model kits, man. I tell you what, let's get the Misericordia. I'm probably going to field all these dudes with Misericordias. In particular, they want number 64 on this one, so we're jumping from part number 1 all the way to 64, going crazy. This, unlike the Adeptus Custodians, this piece doesn't seem to have any predefined grooves, so I'm going to put the skull on the outside of it, I suppose. A little bit of glue on it. It's probably a lot of glue. And we're going to want to slap this all willy-nilly up on his backside. I really liked how they put these on with the Adeptus Custodians. Now I feel spoiled and don't feel as compelled to enjoy how they're having me put this one on here for the Custodian Wardens. I don't know how many units of these guys I'm going to actually field in my army. Probably just one, I think. I think the Adeptus Custodians really take the cake in terms of being used for your elite choices. If the Custodian Wardens were an alternative troop choice, they'd be a pretty broken troop choice, since seeing as how they're already better than the Custoian Guard, but I think I'd be more inclined to purchase more than one kit, because I think the Shield Captain also does better either on the Dawn Eagle jet bike or in the Alaris Terminator armor. I might not be fielding Custoian Guard Shield Captains, but I tell you though, the Shield Captain would look better with this extra robe, but by the time you stick him in a unit of Custodian Wardens, his specialty's kind of lost, I guess. I don't know. I got mixed feelings. I bought him for the completeness. I'm buying up pretty much every Custodian Guard unit that's out there that they're producing, especially since they produce plastics. We all should be so thankful, considering Sisters of Battle still essentially have almost no plastics aside from some of their old vehicles, of course, but these Seraphim there, those are the only other plastic ones, and Saint Celestine herself. So we'll be doing those in a later video. Yeah, we've got some of them. I needed for my Adeptus my Adeptus Mechanicus army that I've got, I needed to get the dude in that box, and he was like, he's almost cost as much as that whole box of the three of them, so I figured I'd get that set before they sold out of them. Now here they're showing you building these dudes with the Guardian Spear. Psh, as if that was last year's model, dude. Get on the Castellan Axe. That's the bandwagon right now. I'm telling you. Plus I've already got like 35 Custodian Guards. I'm pretty much Guardian Speared out at this point. Yeah, I've got that many. Don't ask me why. Well, I know why. I bought that many because I didn't plan on them actually releasing other kits, and I figured I'd build up a whole 2,000 point army of Custodian Guards, so I did. And then now I've got myself another 2,500 or 2,000 points of the new models that they've got out. So let's go ahead and put the glue here. One thing that is nice though about this kit is that they've got like little knobs. Pieces of 8, dude. Those little knobs are handy for kind of adding some support and helping make sure you glue things on the right way. That Misericordia came loose. Sunken monkeys. And I got some of Moe's cat hair on there. Okay. Now let's grab that Castellan Axe head. Yep, part number 59. 59. Faux fitted. All right. Get a little glue there. Now these guys have slightly different Castellan Axes than the Alaris Terminators. These guys have the drum bolter, or the drum magazines, meaning like they've got a ton of ammunition, whereas the Alaris Custodians, oh man, have the regular bolter style magazine with like less ammunition. But then again, the Alaris Custodians also have those wrist mounted grenade launchers, which make them pretty OP. So considering those guys have 2 shooting weapons and can deep strike, these guys are lacking a little bit, but it's coming together nicely. We're missing some shoulder pads and a helmet here. It would be great. Let's check out if these helmets have the built-in hair. No, you got to put the hair on separately. Sunken. Oh man, I hate that. And now I've also got to find the helmet that matches the hip pads I put on. I put together quite a few kits of those regular Custodian Guard before I realized that there were specific thigh pads, shoulder pads, and all that, since I bought them and didn't have the instructions. So shame on me. But yeah, if you ever check out my army, I've got a few that didn't quite go together. I feel like I'm doing a lot of this out of frame. Let me go ahead and carefully move that here. I think the extra microphone I've got was causing the camera to bog down a little bit there. Let's put a drop of glue right in his head socket. These guys have some big old eagles on their foreheads. These look a lot like the Horus Heresy artwork that we've seen from Forge World, which is cool. Let's get those shoulder pads on there. He's looking too much like a scout at this point. A scout in a dress is basically what he looks like. So we need part number 33. That's going to be his eagle. Shoulder pad. Bam! And which one goes there? Now we got to find the shoulder pad that matches the other side, or as close as I care to. We'll take this one. So there's like a helmet, thigh pad, shoulder pad, all that goes together that you guys need to keep track of. Let's put some glue here, get ready. I do think that the shoulder sockets on these guys are going to fit better than the... I've had a heck of a time getting the shoulder sockets, the shoulder pads to fit onto the shoulders on my regular Custoian Guard. I don't know who designed those versus who designed these, but there's a little bit of each kit that I like more on one than the other. These arms are definitely a plus so far. Definitely digging the arms. Ooh, let's see if I can get this hair on here without making the head fall off, since I didn't wait for any glue to dry. Oh no. There you have it. There's our first Custoian Guard, Custodian Warden. Almost said that wrong. Alright, so that was Custodian Warden A. Shall we move on to Custodian Warden B? Maybe in another video. We'll go ahead and put these together, and then we'll do a painting tutorial on these at a later date. But let's do one last look here at Custodian Warden A for your guys' benefit. That way we don't have to make an hour-long video. But it took us about 15 minutes to get this one guy put together, so that'll of course speed up as we start doing more and more of these build outs, because this was different than the others. But we opted in for the Custoian Axe and the Misericordia as his equipment. So he's got about the most amount of attacks available, 5 attacks total, 4 from his base Custoian Axe, 1 additional from the Misericordia. And there is our Custodian Warden.